It's a Rudy Poo, candy tree, a jabroni party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see until the elbow drops. It's a Rudy Poo, candy tree, and the rock is singing. And then we'll eat some poo-tang pie and continue caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you see all these millions spent by Amazon. 50 million for Dwayne Johnson, 250 million. What were they thinking? Remember what happened to making Christmas films with some fucking feeling. It doesn't matter what they spent. Red One is an Amazon MGM Studios original with co-production by $7 Production. Rock the Dwayne Johnson getting everybody in his inner circle involved in a production that was doomed to fail from day one. Day Red One, as it were. A film that is mired in controversy with a whole bunch of rumors and innuendo and innuendo and a whole bunch of Christmas cheer found elsewhere. Look, I'm not going to lie, I fucking hated this. I saw a special screening of it. I didn't expect much from it. I got less. Congratulations, Rock the Dwayne Johnson. You made Christmas a holiday that nobody wants to fucking celebrate. This film was apparently, allegedly, covering my ass, delayed for about a goddamn year. It was supposed to come out last year, but due to massive production delays due to Dwayne's possible tardiness, or Amazon just being idiotic, or the fact that $7 Production doesn't know how to make a goddamn film, it was delayed a year. $50 million for Dwayne Johnson. 50 fucking million for this shitty flick. And I will explain why it's shitty in a little bit. If you saw a special screening of this, please let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I really want to hear if anybody liked this movie, because I didn't expect much and I just expected to be entertained. I'm like, okay, maybe there'll be some stupid entertainment. No, every edge to this. I'm not even talking about the Adam Copeland. Not that edge, not the edge from U2. Every edge is sanded off. It's just a cube of gruel and blandness. Just fucking goddamn bland oatmeal. Not even the type of oatmeal that, Wilford Diabetes Brimley would promote. So, yeah, Red One with Rock the Dwayne Johnson. This is directed by Jake Kasdan, who did Zero Effect, a film I totally forgot about. Orange County. That really wasn't much of a film, was it? Anyway, Bad Teacher, speaking of not much of a film. Sex Tape. He also did Jumanji 1 and 2, the ones with Rock the Dwayne Johnson. If Karen Gillan had not been in those, I don't know if I really could have put up with those. Because, yeah, you can guess who in the cast I really didn't like. Look, I'm a fan of Rock the Dwayne Johnson, but he just has been playing an extension of his wrestling persona since he got into movies. And there's nothing wrong with that. He drew tremendous money, ratings, he got a lot of public attention. He was hosting SNL in 2000. He main evented multiple WrestleManias, multiple pay-per-views. People tuned in masse to see what he would become, to see how big of a star he would become. Finally, The Rock had ascended to superstardom. He got a brief role in The Mummy Returns, Octu Machente, and I think that's what the line was. And then he was in The Scorpion King. And then from there, even though, there was no guarantee his movie career was going to succeed, but he was in Be Cool. He was in, or was it Get Shorty? No, Get Shorty. The Be Cool was the sequel to that. Nevertheless, the whole point is, yeah, he did Southland Tales. He did other stuff. He did Doom. But, yeah, there was no guarantee that he was going to actually end up fully succeeding, but he was at least doing well and getting paid well. The thing is, until he got into the Fast and Furious franchise, he was not guaranteed to be a superstar. And he did, as far as movies go, he did that movie Faster. I have enjoyed some of his movies. I didn't particularly enjoy some of the last ones I've seen. Black Adam was kind of eh. And yeah, it's pretty obvious his star has faded because Black Adam ruined his ego. And he really thought that this film was going to succeed. Amazon MGM Studios thought it would succeed. If this film, and I don't know how much the production delays actually increased the budget for this particular thing, but had this film cost maybe $120 million, they probably would have just slapped it out on Amazon, or Amazon Prime. But they probably figured, oh, let's just do this. Let's have special screens and let's get the word out. There was maybe 40 people in this special screening in a 400-seat theater. And the only reason that I actually had to drive to another city is because the theater in my area was not showing it. And the only other theater that was showing it further north, so I didn't have to go through Washington State traffic going south, was in Bellingham, which is about 55 miles north of me. So I really didn't want to do that. So yeah, I spent a little bit of a fee to watch an RPX, because that's what it was in, and decided, why not? So let's talk about the writers for this. I don't really actually think that people wrote this. I think a faulty AI program is about to have the plug pulled wrote it, because there's actually no way. Let's see though. I could be wrong, because there could be tremendous people writing this. Chris Morgan, who did Cellular, Wanted, and Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift all the way to Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw. Okay, he also did 47 Ronin and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Kind of funny how Zachary Levi basically torpedoed his own goddamn career because he's a fucking idiot. But nevertheless, the story was by Hiram Garcia. The fucking nepotism around Rock the Dwayne Johnson is insane. His former significant other, Danny, I'm on as many goddamn supplements as Dwayne Garcia, is still his partner here, and he's married to somebody else, I don't know who. Yeah, Hiram did the story. He apparently has not ever read a goddamn story. He's not ever read any Christmas story. I don't think he knows how to read. I am convinced that this motherfucker doesn't know how to read. Am I being mean? Probably. I don't really give a shit, because this movie made me just want to burn this hat. And I like this hat. And no, I'm not channeling Jake Hager. Quick side note about this hat, for those that have missed it, if you're new to the channel. Years ago, when I worked at another gas station that was shut down, about 10 years ago, almost 10 and a half years ago, it was like 2009, 2010, something like that. And an elderly couple that would always come in, they were nice to me, I was always nice to them, they would get gas, they would get stuff. The lady had crocheted hats, and she wanted to give me one. I don't remember their names. They told me one, but it has been so many years, and I did not see them after that store closed down. So, and my God, they had to have at least been 80 by that point. So, unfortunately, if they're still out there, I doubt they would be watching this. If you do remember me, hi, send your grandkids in, and maybe that you can let me know if they're okay, or if they can let me know if you're okay. But I like this hat, and I decided to wear it to be festive. And I like Christmas. I don't like Christmas after watching this slop. So yeah, Callum Drift or Cal Drift. This movie needed to drift over the side of a cliff and then fall and hit Homer Simpson style. It's played by Rock the Dwayne Johnson. You have Jack O'Malley, who's played by Chris Evans. Remember when Chris Evans was in good movies? Lucy Liu, who is given fuck all to do. Lucy Liu, who not only has aged gracefully and actually can add to a film if you give her a chance to do something, because she has a look, she has a physical charisma about her, and actually can act. They don't give her anything to do. J.K. Simmons plays Nick, a.k.a. Red One, a.k.a. Santa. And Bonnie Hunt. I have not seen Bonnie Hunt in something for a while. Good for her. Christopher Hivja, I think that's how you say it. Karen Shipka. She was in this longer than she was in Twisters. And Mary Elizabeth Ellis. There are others. I mean, I don't really care necessarily, because this movie was ass. Santa's kidnapped, and only Cal Drift, who is Santa's greatest guard elf, and they have letterings for all this, or they have meanings behind all these letters that I could have actually wrote down on my notes, but I don't care. He's an elf, and I'm just going to call it for electronic, lazy fuck. That's what I'll just call it. Egotistical lazy fuck actually might be better, because that would apply to Rock the Dwayne Johnson. So, yeah, the North Pole's greatest guard, St. Nick, is captured because of a heinous plot, and only Jack O'Malley, who factors into something from the beginning all the way with the story arc to the end. Only he, who somehow managed to find St. Nick's location, can help Cal and help save Christmas. This is about as generic as you can fucking get. I am actually astonished by just how fucking terrible this whole movie is. I'm throwing away my notes now. There are action scenes in this featuring special effects that wouldn't have passed for 2003. there are moments in this where I'm like, I don't think Amazon even tried. J.K. Simmons, who is a tremendous character actor, who is great in Law and Order, who was great in goddamn, Spider-Man. Parker, you deaf? I called you twice. And again, a cast that could work. And the guy, the Krampus is in this, by the way, just so you know, if you've seen the trailer, you know. The Krampus slap, power slap. If you know, you know. He's actually a pretty good actor. There's talent here. There's just not talent behind the camera or in front of the camera. Like, as far as, like, line reading goes, I mean. Because a talented cast needs good material. And just look at the material. There are lines in this that actually made me think, I think they want this movie to fail. They have to want this movie to fail. Because it's too stupid to really appeal to that many adults. And it's also too mind-numbingly dull to really appeal to kids. Like, there are some sight gags that if your child is basically, just came out of a medically induced coma, they might find that funny. But there is just nothing about this. There's an action scene involving snowmen that's actually fucking just terrible. The villain is just an abysmal piece of work. And I'm not even talking about the actor who plays. I'll talk about that in spoilers. But my God, just everything from just the plot is stretched the fuck out. The true meaning of Christmas is to basically see, the good in people and everything. And I can't see the good in any of these characters. I just wanted them all to get trampled by the reindeer. I was rooting for the reindeer to do trampling. That is what this movie has done with my spirit of Christmas. It is 100% terrible. It's in theaters this Friday if you want to check it out. I'm glad I saw a special screen so I can just get good shit in the can. Anyway, I'm going to get into spoilers because The Rock pissed me off. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, Kiernan Shipka is the villain. Gorilla, I think that's how you say it. She's the Christmas witch. The Pickety Witch. Which one is the Scarlet Pickety Witch? They clearly inspired her look from the Scarlet Witch. She basically it's kind of like an offshoot of Krampus, basically. She wants to capture St. Nick's magic and basically, harness this and trap people in globes. There's a German word for it. Oh no, German objects trapping people that have been, beneath them. I think I see where they got the inspiration. I'm going to hell, but I don't really care because that's what this movie did to me. This movie may send me to hell. I'm taking this movie with me. I'm taking the director. I'm taking Hiram with me. I'm taking that motherfucker to hell. How dare you? How dare you even call yourself a human being, you motherfucker? Anyway, Rock the Dwayne Johnson is an elf, and he is guarding Santa and everything. And J.K. Simmons, at least, is trying, at least in like one or two scenes. But in the opening scene, we have Jack O'Malley just exposing the fact that all these presents are here and it's not Santa's, it's not Santa, it's the parents. I think deep down many of us knew that as kids, but those of us that did appreciate what our parents were doing, I mean, my parents gave me more stuff than I ever fucking deserved when they were struggling financially. So I am forever grateful for that. And had they focused on stuff like that, the true meaning of Christmas, and actually had some fun with this, I might have enjoyed it. This is 2 hours and 2 minutes, and it feels at least 40 minutes longer. This feels longer than goddamn The Substance, and The Substance flew by like it was 90 goddamn minutes. That being, watch The Substance. The Substance is somehow less horrifying than this, which is actually unfair, but nevertheless. Rock the Dwayne Johnson wants to just put in his resignation. Let's put in his resignation because he just doesn't want to deal with this anymore. He can't see the good in people. He's tired of it. There's more bad people than good people out there. And St. Nick's like, I wish you'd stay, but you just got to see the good in people. We got to do it for the kids, Cal, even when they aren't kids anymore. And oh yes, young Jack also drank the milk and ate the cookies that were left out for Santa because he's a full-on dick. And Jack is also a petty thief that does odd jobs. Like at one point, he is doing something where his bookie is calling him or something. And this totally gets glossed over. Like, they forget about this stuff instantly. He ends up breaking into this, like, seismic, surveillance place and places something where he can hack into the system and find out about the seismic activity. And he finds out where St. Nick is. He finds out about this dome, the North Pole, all that stuff. That's why we can't see it, because there's a dome over the North Pole hiding it. Just go with it, because the movie did. The movie went with it right into the goddamn dome like a goddamn moth into a flame, which is what this movie deserved to do. Catch you like a moth in a flame and just go up and everything, and up and up and up and up like Mothra. Mothra shows that, this whole thing, ablaze with its webbing. Nevertheless, let's get back to the whole thing. Red 1 is the code name for St. Nick. There's Garcia, that's this polar bear. Gee, I wonder why they called him that. Lucy Lou's there too. Bonnie Hunt, and I like Bonnie Hunt. Bonnie Hunt has been in good projects. She's not given anything to do here. J.K. Simmons ends up getting kidnapped because Kieran Shipka is a gorilla, and she's got her 13 sons or whatever the fuck it is, and takes Saint Nick and is going to harness his power to basically trap people in these globes, and then send mass produce these globes, send them all over the goddamn world to trap all these naughty kids. And in Bingo Bango, we have Cal and we have Jack, and then we have Garcia the bear. We also have Lucy Liu in some dominatrix outfit for some reason. I'm not complaining, but it's weird, because this is supposed to be a Christmas movie. Whatever, it's fine. There are action scenes where they use these shock sticks to freeze people, which I don't know. They don't explain any of this stuff. It just happens, so we just have to go with it. And then Jack gets captured. Jack basically has to reveal all his sources and all his stuff. But he always finds, even though he doesn't know who the people are, he encrypts something so he can get back money if they don't pay him. Basically, he can get back stuff, he can get back information, and they find a way where they're basically able to, track down the fact that it's Gorilla, but you can't say her name, because if you say her name, it's like Beetlejuice, except if you say it once, she gets summoned. Then there's this toy shop thing first, where toy, broom closets are the portals, everywhere, so you can go from here to here, and you can go to Germany and see German engineering, and oh no, why is that smokestack going? So nevertheless, they end up on this beach, they end up talking to this one guy that has this information, but then he writes out the name, so I guess if you write out the name, she can't see it, because she doesn't have eyes, but if you say it, oh my god, she's summoned. And then she gets in this one guy and just does this terrible voice. And then they fight the snowmen, where you have to beat them by basically pulling off their nose like they're killer clowns from outer space. Snow cone men, as it were. He didn't rock bottom any of them, so, half a star right there. Look, I get that he can be, charismatic and everything, but everybody's starting to see through his fucking fakery, and it's really actually starting to get infuriating. But here's the biggest problem with this movie. They throw a plot in about the fact that he has a kid, Dylan, I believe is the kid's name. He has a wife. I don't remember the wife's name. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't care. But, basically, he's never there for his son, but his son has a great stepdad. And he's cool with that, and it seems like the son's cool with that, but then he has to pick up the son, and the son's like, I'm doing this concert thing, don't worry about it. But, he kind of just is standoffish. Obviously, he wants his dad there, but his dad's a fucking prick and a hacker and everything and all this stuff. Then he gets involved in all this project stuff, or this, hunt for Santa, and they're trying to figure out where Santa is. And they go globetrotting, they go to Germany, or wherever the fuck it is. They run into Krampus. And Dwayne also has this weird wrist thing where he can shoot rings like he's fucking Sonic. Sonic 3 looks good. I'll be watching that unless I'm snowed in on December 20th. But that being said, he can do this. He has all these powers. He can create this, he can make a toy bigger. He has all these, toys that he has with him. Monopoly and Rock'em Sock'em Robots and other stuff. They get to Krampus's place. And if they don't alert anybody, they're going to be all right. But Dwayne manages to get the guards away by just, increasing the size of his cock and letting it run around. No, really, he actually sends a chicken out there. That isn't a euphemism. Or maybe it is. You'll find out. And then they end up alerting goddamn Krampus because don't touch anything. Well, of course, naturally being a thief and a liar and a level 4 naughty lister, which is something that they said earlier. Basically, Chris Evans ends up getting them caught. Then they get into Krampus Schlap. Krampus, by the way, Krampus, whatever, is the brother of Santa. And also used to date Gorilla. And all that. And basically, she got the snow globe gift thing that traps people. And she found a way to trap somebody, but then the globe doesn't come back. So now she needs to find a way to mass produce. The only way to mass produce objects like that is to be at the North Pole, which is where they've been all this time. The reason they can't see it is because of the dome thing that they hacked earlier. You would think that would have been the first place they looked, because they had a divergent thing of, you know, drones and shit like that and whatever. Like it was Mass Effect, except with slightly less animated characters. Seriously, there were points in this movie where I'm like, are these CGI or are these actually really people? So, let's just continue with the fact that we get into Krampus slap. And there's a deal made. If he can knock you out, you let us go. If he can't, then you go. Then we stay prison forever. Because after talking to his kid wanting him to be at the concert, but he can't be on the fact that he's in Germany or wherever. He's on whatever side of the wall. Reagan smash, Reagan smash, Reagan sleepy. That man didn't go to sleep soon enough as far as I'm concerned. That being said, eventually, you know, Chris Evans puts that object on him, you know, the thing with the ring that gives the ultimate power, and he slaps him and knocks Krampus down, which I guess is good enough to win. And they manage to escape. And then they're going to find Gorilla. Well, then it turns out that Gorilla basically wants to trap goddamn Jack. So they put a piano. She puts a piano there with a globe, a present, you know, to play in the Nutcracker Suite. If I was the composer of any of these songs, the original composer, I'd rise from my grave and I would just fucking just curb stomp Amazon MGM. God damn. How dare... Nah, just hire him. That fucking piece of shit. I don't even know if he is, but he is in over his goddamn head. Nevertheless, Chris Evans then sees that his son has been captured. Because he calls his son's about to do a recital, pageant, whatever thing. But then, who sent me this gift? And he gets sucked into this globe. So, Jack then goes into the globe. And now... Rock to Dwayne Johnson, let's figure out what's going on. So he talks to Lucy Liu. They're trying to discover what's going on. Wait a second, he's at the North Pole. We need to go back to the North Pole because that's where they're mass producing the globes. Jack is talking to Dylan, and eventually there's this long heart-to-heart thing that's so ridiculous. I should have been a better father. I should have been this kind of stuff. And you're a good kid and all this, and I should have been better. And because he was nicer and he had goodness in his heart, that broke the globes, and they're fine. Great fucking trap there, you 900-year-old witch. So then, he finds out that they're still at the North Pole because he talks to Bonnie Hunt, Mrs. Claus, and tricks him, kind of like the Wolfie thing, you know, with Terminator 2. Your foster parents are dead. Talks about these cookies. Oh, I bake macaroons. She's lying. That's not her because he hates macaroons. I like macaroons, to be fair. They aren't bad. But then they get back there. Him and Jack and Dylan manage to do their thing. Zoe's there. And they free, you know, Mrs. Claus and Garcia and all this stuff. It is the seaside town portion of Super Mario RPG. Only dimmer with stupider writing. And that was translated from Japanese. And it probably wasn't even translated that goddamn well. But that's a great game. That and the remaster. Wish I could play the remaster. Now, they end up basically getting to Gorilla. And there's this sled thing. She's about to take off. And these reindeer aren't really being very cooperative. But Dwayne and Chris get on the goddamn sleigh. Chris is like basically manages to detach the goddamn reindeer. And the reindeer just fly off. And then... basically, Gorilla ends up falling off the goddamn, you know, like, bridge. And St. Nick is still out of it. And she's an ogre, by the way, a huge ogre, because that's her original form. Now she shows up straight out of Shadow of Mordor, except they put more effort in the special effects in that than they did in this. And it looks like it's all over for Jack, and it's all over for Cal. And he's about to get crushed. And then St. Nick manages to wake up and has only one thing to say, And he basically gives the command to the reindeer that I remember him saying it in the beginning. I don't really care what it is. He just yells it. And then the reindeer basically come in like they're fucking, like the shooting stars from Star Road. Let's just go full Mario here. And boom, 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 boom. And yeah, that's it. The ogre, by the way, the ogre queen is getting assaulted. Krampus showed up during the interim here and tried to reason because they used to date. Then the reindeer did that, and then she fell into the pile of globes that she was going to distribute, and now she's trapped in a globe for all eternity. And Jack, I assume, is going to be good to his son, so much so that they get invited to watch Santa do all his stuff and go to all these houses and give all these gifts in one night because he's able to do that. Look, movies can be stupid entertainment, but you need to have entertainment there. You can't just be stupid, and this was stupid. Red One is one of the worst motherfucking movies of the year. I don't know how high, but it is really, really bad. So yeah, Merry fucking Christmas. Yeah, watch something else. Watch the 2019 Black Christmas movie. That is better than this, because at least that's over quicker, even though it makes no sense. Red One is a red pile of candy ass. So he gets an F in case you didn't figure it out. Gets a fucking F. Stupid fucking Hiram Garcia. Anyway, so yeah, agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle, Letterboxd, and Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.